If you think your passwords are enough, please think again. Cyber criminals are getting smarter and families need stronger security measures. Okay? In this video, we'll show you why multi-factor authentication, which is often abbreviated as MFA, is essential for protecting your children's online accounts and how you can set it up in minutes. Imagine this. Your child's gaming account gets hacked. Their personal data is stolen and you have no idea how it happened. Sounds crazy, right? That's why multi-factor authentication, or MFA, is one of the best ways to secure your family's online accounts. It's quick to set up and can stop hackers in their tracks. Today, we'll show you how. Okay? We start with the why. Why is multi-factor authentication? And by the way, you may see it presented as two-factor authentication, so MFA or 2FA. So we're going to look at why, or rather, what is multi-factor or two-factor authentication. Simply, it's an extra layer of security that requires more than just a password to log in. Even if someone steals your password, they still need a second piece of information, like a code, from your phone to access the account. Think of it like having two locks on your front door instead of just the one, okay? Now we'll show you, or rather, at least we'll attempt to explain why caregivers and parents need to enable two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication, okay? I'll give you several. Children are easy targets, okay? They are easy targets. Kids often use weak passwords or share them with friends. Some of them do it for fun. I can't for the life of me understand why. Well, it could only be that we've not educated them, okay? So children are easy targets because that's what they often do. Often use weak passwords or share them with friends. A second reason why parents, in the context of the family security, must enable MFA or 2FA is that hackers exploit common accounts. And those common accounts are usually set up like we discussed yesterday on gaming platforms, okay? Email accounts, and even school portals. All these areas can be targeted by hackers, or as we call them, internet rogues. And that's why it's a must that parents and caregivers need to enable multi-factor or two-factor authentication, okay? We've got another reason why it's crucial that you do so, and that's to prevent identity theft, okay? A hacked account could lead to stolen personal details. And that's a no-brainer, okay? So it's important to enable, and the thing is, at times, and I'm sure it still happens, when you're browsing your, let's say, social media account, if you've not enabled two-factor or multi-factor authentication, they're constantly reminding you to do so. And that's why it's so important. They know it's important, but if you've not enabled it, it means you don't know. And that's, again, where we come in and bridge that gap. You have to enable multi-factor authentication, two-factor authentication. I'll drum it in to your ears as often as I have access to you, because it's crucially important. It's so simple and easy to do. Another reason why, see, I'm giving you so many reasons to do it. I'll give you one more. Another reason, the last reason, at least for today's video, why parents or caregivers have to enable multi-factor or two-factor authentication is just general peace of mind. Knowing that your child's data is secure should help you rest easy. Kids know what privacy is. Mom, can I have some privacy? Dad, can I have some privacy? I know in my time that's a bold statement for a child to make, but we've grown up, we've matured, and we understand. They say they want their privacy. If it's earned, they get it. Okay? But knowing that your child's data is secure helps parents, you and I, rest easy that the data that they may have shared with friends or they generally have on their system is secure. Okay? All right, so that's a reason why, well, 4 reasons. I'm sure there are many more, but those are the 4 I'll share with you today. 4 reasons why parents and caregivers have to set up multi-factor. Now, how do you set it up? I hear you ask. Now that we know why it's important, I'll quickly show you how to enable MFA, or am I going to show you? Do we have time to do that? I think the showing should happen during a live Q&A. So I'll move the showing, actual showing, to a time where we have an hour to spend together. I'll just demonstrate how to enable it, just like I did on the last Saturday of the month. I spoke about cookies and I demoed it. So I can show you. Showing is one thing, but telling you how to is second best. It's close enough, okay? So I will not show you, but I'll tell you how to enable MFA or 2FA on the most common platforms that you and your young one may be on, okay? We start with Google and Apple accounts, okay? On Google, if you have your Google phone or smart device anywhere near you, all you have to do is go to settings. And whilst in settings, most of the platforms have a search function. So you can just search for security. And the moment you search for security, bet you $2, £2. If you type it, you get the enable 2-step verification pop-up if you have not enabled it already, okay? So you go to settings, search or find security, and enable the dialog box that comes up. Enable 2-step authentication or 2-step verification, okay? Another platform that we know the kids frequent will be the gaming consoles that we spoke about yesterday. So on PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch, you can easily navigate to account security settings. Get your young one, if you're with them right now, just get them. Open your console, son, open your console, daughter. And whilst the console is on, of course, no game at the time, just navigate to the account security settings on those consoles, okay? And easily, the moment you get there, you should just be able to enable MFA or 2FA via email or authentication apps, okay? It's crucial you do this. Please don't put this off any longer. Like I said, it's a secondary layer of authentication. It's something you have in your possession that the rogue does not have, because the jury is out on the modes, and we'll soon flag it, you know, on how to receive the actual token. Some argue that some are better than others, but we will flag that if time permits. But ultimately, just enable it. That's the first step. Enable it. Okay. Another, I suppose, not location. I'm looking for the word. Another platform where you have the opportunity to use MFA or 2FA will be your social media and streaming services. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Netflix as a streaming service, they also support MFA. Okay, so enable them on those platforms that I've just listed: Google and Apple accounts, gaming consoles, social media, and streaming services. They all promote and support MFA. It's crucial, really crucial. You know, we've got to drum it into you. There was a time we used to really push that folks should not ignore updates. You know, you see these red, icon around updates, and you see some 50, 20. If you don't update, you're not fixing bugs on your system. So we used to encourage folks to make sure they're updating their platforms, because the vendor is trying to protect you. By not doing it, you're ignoring those assisting tools. It's the same thing with MFA. I can bet you that you've seen a message. If you've not enabled it, you've received a message this week already asking you to enable it. All right, so let's move to the last area that we're going to look at. And it will be, like I mentioned, the best multi-factor authentication methods to use. And there's several that are on offer, but not all MFA methods, English, are equal. So much, or rather, some are more secure than others. And as your bridge, your assistant, we're recommending the ones that should be used, okay? If you're just joining, we're discussing the best MFA methods to use. The first, and in our humble view, the best choice will be Authenticator apps. Apps like Google Authenticator and Authi-Generate. They generate one-time codes. So that's on a ticker, as in a timer, and it expires if it's not used. That's the picture. You know, in those days when it used to be hardware driven, it was the same theory, but hardware will mean that there's a cost. But Authenticator apps are usually apps on your phone. And remember, it's with you. It's not with the rogue. And because the app, or rather the token expires, the one-time password or code expires, that's a security plus, okay? So we recommend the Authenticator apps as the best choice or best method to use. A second, a bit risky, but it's still better than not having it, is the SMS verification, okay? It's okay, but it's risky. But it's better. Please note that it is better than nothing. The reason why we say it's risky, hackers can intercept text messages. And that's painful. But if you don't have MFA, you're still better off receiving an SMS to verify as a second layer of security that you are who you're allowed to log into, because most of these things are triggered. Like, okay, let's look at this. I'm just going to demo it just a bit, a mental picture, so you have that. You go to a website, and let's say it's a sensitive website. One example will be your banking portal. If you go to your banking portal, in days or years past, you could just put in a password, and Bob is your uncle. You're in. Now, with the increase of these hackers and internet rogues, that's no longer acceptable. So there has to be a secondary layer. So some other way to authenticate that you are, the owner of the account. And this is where MFA comes in, or 2FA. A code is sent to your phone as an SMS, or a one-time code is sent to your Authenticator app. That takes the internet rogue seemingly out of the picture because they don't have the Authenticator app that's on your phone, and they certainly don't have the SMS that has just been sent. I have mentioned that the SMS is riskier and that we recommend the Authenticator apps. At the moment you try to log into your account, it's triggered, okay? Straight away. Triggered, and something has to happen that the rogue does not have. I'm trying to make you see how important this is, okay? So as a duty to your family, because you're keeping your family secure, your kids secure, make sure you pass this message on. So you do that, enable multi-factor authentication on all your platforms, social media, online platforms, enable it, and then trigger it down by doing it on the devices that your young ones frequent, okay? There's another one, they used to call them secure ID tokens, and that's a hardware device that has a code that's constantly timing out. It's hardware, it's just you. No OS, nothing, it's just a code that appears on a token, a hardware device. Physical USB keys. And if you have that, the rogue definitely doesn't have it. It's not like an SMS that can be intercepted. So it's the most secure. But they're phasing them out for some reason because obviously its cost is not as cost efficient as the other ones I've mentioned, okay? So those are methods, at least 3 that I can share with you that can be used, you know, to be used as a method for MFA, okay? Now, I don't know. I think the live that we'll do on the last Saturday of the month, we will get to demo this so that you can really get a feel. But don't put it off. Don't put off enabling MFA till then. Please do it now, even as I speak. I don't even mind if you leave me for a bit just to enable it, because this is, well, we're at the business end of our broadcast. So going now doesn't really hurt. You can come back to the archive on YouTube, okay? So it's important that you do it and do it immediately, please. Enabling multi-factor authentication is one of the easiest ways to protect your family's digital life. It only takes a few minutes, in some instances seconds, but can prevent a lifetime of trouble and bother, okay? So if you haven't set it up yet, now is the time. Now, today, okay? If you want more tips on keeping your family safe online, hit the like button. That's the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. And again, it's started to move again. Subscribe to the channel and be part of this wonderful platform. Turn on notifications for more videos from Family Cyber Tips Daily, okay? Until tomorrow, same time, I've been your host, Lawrence Edem. God bless and goodbye.